Here talks a lot about the new normal, and I like to talk about it as the new reality because I think the word normal makes it feel like it's just normal, and I don't think it's just normal. I think we're in a very different time, and you can see that there's a lot of challenges ahead, a lot of difficulty, but it's also an opportunity that many of us have never seen quite before. So out of this new normal, this new, some could see some dark clouds forming, especially people, if you're unemployed, if you're homeless, if you're not getting the health care you need, it's a very challenging time. So, so then we understand that there are people all across our state and our region and our community who are out there trying to do some new things. And some of those things are really good ideas. So there's real energy or sparks coming out of those experiments. We just met a man out in western Minnesota named Patrick Moore who's just doing the most amazing things with his area. He is working in InCommons. So he's, as you are all experiencing what you've just done for 3 days. So here's some of this great energy and ideas, but nobody knows what's going on. It's isolated, it's separated. And somebody up in Thief River Falls who might benefit from what Patrick's done doesn't know about it, doesn't have the information, doesn't have the knowledge. So Bush in its evolution, and it's moving now out of a traditional grant-making role into a catalytic role, has said, as the board has looked at its new goals, that in 10 years we want 75% of people in all areas of Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota to report that they've got the courageous and creative leadership to solve their own tough problems. So how do we get to that goal of 75% when we've got all these people out here doing interesting things but they're not connected? So that's where the new thing, or the new network that we're creating and calling InCommons gets formed. And InCommons is really a different way of being together. And I think the reason we're so attracted to the art of hosting is art of hosting embodies those values. You've been learning over the last 3 days about how do we engage with each other differently. And that's what we all need to start to learn how to do. So our vision for InCommons is it's people learning together, helping each other, turn challenge into opportunity. Okay, so that's great. So how do you do that? Well, one way of doing that is to gather and meet together in different ways. So gatherings are a big part of this work. And to do gatherings in new ways, we need facilitation that helps us to move into that new space. So the art of hosting is the training that we've started with that is helping you to become facilitators to help people gather in new ways. So by joining us as part of InCommons as facilitators, you're a big part of this work. Another piece is knowledge tools. So just like we learned about what Patrick's doing in his community, but there's a lot of other data and research and information that can help us. So we're working with Compass, which is part of the Wilder Foundation. They've got all kinds of great evidence and research that we're hooking into. There are other, the University of Minnesota is working with us, so we have a number of partners that are helping us get the knowledge tools together that we need. We also have sharing stories. So I just told you the story about Patrick, but lots of people have stories. So how do we share those stories? So we've got a way to use our website that we're developing, and Brian's one of our key connectors on the website, as well as a number of other people. How do we help people learn how to tell a story so that it can really motivate and move people? So we're working on a template for doing that. We're also working on something called challenges, different than the ones we all face. They're more like American Idol challenge. They're competitions. It's a way for us to crowdsource ideas. So last year, we did a collaboration challenge. We called to the community and said, share with us ideas that you have where you're collaborating with another group or another group of people to solve a problem in your community. We got 226 entries. And then those were sorted down to a smaller group. A jury reviewed those and selected 3. And Kevin, whom you met yesterday, made videos of the 3. And then those went out and the public voted on the top 3. And one group won the $25,000 award. So it's a way for us, I mean, so one group got the money, but everybody got their story onto InCommons, and a way to start connecting with people. So connections are another huge part of what the work is. And as we develop our website, you're going to be able to go on and create your profile and then find other people regarding whatever you're interested in or wherever geographic node you're in. So think of InCommons as this community, this network of people learning and helping each other turn challenges into opportunities, so that we can get to this community goal of 75% and even higher of people really working from the grassroots up to solve their own problems. Now I'm going to turn it to Jake to talk about what's next.
So one piece also that's on this map is the core team. So I always use Tuesday's story of how in her work in Columbus, the community, you know, tell me if I'm wrong, but I summarize that. I always say, well, the community told her that they wanted them to do 10% of the work for them to help it get off the ground, right? And to help it move forward, and it helps keep things connected and nurtured. And you know, when you start to grow something new, you need to create the conditions for it to grow by itself and to get it nurtured and make sure the soil's okay for the first few years. Eventually, it's an old-growth forest, perhaps. But we have a core team of people that are helping create the conditions for this to get off the ground. That's a big piece of this. And we are not interested in transactions with you. We're interested in relationships with you. And I think that's a big shift in, frankly, thinking from a foundation perspective. And we want to be in the work with you. We want to move through these challenges with you so that we're in a learning community, so that we are understanding what is needed and what kind of interconnections can happen. And I'll talk a little bit about what we do to help nurture the soil right now and the way that we can all start to work together leaving this room. And I hope you've all met our core team. Yes, you guys know Mandy and Molly and Brian and myself and Catherine. There should be more, but there aren't probably yet. But we've just come together as a team, and and InCommons is about 10 months in the public. So we're really at a very early stage, and we are listening. That's our main goal right now. We go into the communities and we do deep listening. And we just listen to what's needed and what resources and assets are out there. And then we work really hard to create the conditions for those things to find each other and interconnect with each other through the numerous ways that we can. I feel like I'm forgetting something about that. So if you haven't met these folks, please do. So let's talk about ways that we can start to interconnect with each other and hear each other. One of the next steps that you can do coming out of here is go to incommons.org and create a profile, and our tech team will then give you a badge on your profile that says InCommons Facilitator, so that you can find each other, and then people can find you if they're interested in having an InCommons gathering and trying to get a facilitator that can help them hold a meaningful conversation. Know that the website is in redesign and that there's a feedback button at the bottom. And that's part of our deep listening, is that we've put the website out there. We've known it's not perfect, but we want to build it with you so that it's yours. We're not going to tell you what the best website is. You guys are going to tell us what the best website is. So play with it. When you hit a spot you don't like, tell us. If you hit a spot you do like, tell us, please. Because we capture everything and prioritize it into our development plans. You've already been invited into the Art of Hosting community, and the Art of Hosting community is one that we work to interconnect very much. And you are part of the art of hosting community as far as we're concerned with within InCommons, and there's 90 others like you that have been trained this year already, and we share the contact information of everybody. You can tell us gatherings that you want to hold. We can help you develop them. We can, if you've already designed them, we can help you promote them and share them with each other, and so we'll send it out to each other if you haven't done that already, if you want help doing that. If you haven't had a design, everybody here knows, you don't want to work on this stuff alone. So if you have an idea and you just want us to help send out invites to work with you to help design and host the gatherings, then we can do that. Another way that happens is, some of our partners will, and the Bush Foundation will want to host gatherings, and they'll need facilitators. So we actually send out RFPs sometimes for you guys to get work. And other people will sponsor gatherings, and we'll send out the invite and say, well, they actually come to us because they know we have a community of facilitators that can hold the conversation. We help you guys get the RFPs for that so you can get work. We also do then the art of hosting community also is a community of people practicing this work together. And so monthly people get together and just share each other's stories, and they work together to try and teach each other and learn from each other and gather opportunities and just stay together in the practice. We're looking at doing maestro calls and online calls so that we don't have to all drive to a place and things, so more people can be included. Another example is people just call a gathering, and then we help get people to know about it. So somebody did Mandy and Jody Sanford did a Pro Action Cafe where they just wanted to have a conversation about a couple things, and they just called Pro Action Cafe. Another person said, well, we need a bunch of self-care because this is hard work. So somebody called a self-care gathering, and we just help promote that and get everybody there and help find space to have the gathering. And then the Bush Foundation wanted to have conversations about the budget crisis. So we called we called 3 gatherings, and then had facilitators help us, and we had I think a dozen or more facilitators help with 3 conversations, and so we asked for help for that. So there's numerous ways that these interconnections lead to a different type of way of being together and working together. And then we have as you know in your invite, we asked for 3 days of facilitation in return. So in the times that we're able to do some of this gathering and hosting, and you guys are coming up with your ideas of the work that you're already doing, and you just want to have conversations about it, and you want to have gatherings about us, let us know what you're doing so that people can come to the gatherings that you're doing, and everybody can start to work together for those 3 days. And it's a nice way to kind of instigate people working together and working on the work that you're already doing, but do it in a different way and do it together. And then we can also help, spread your stories. So we really want you guys to share the stories in, and we can help with getting those stories up on the website. There's guest blog posts that we put out weekly, so if you guys want to tell a story on our blog. And we have media partners too, so we try and flood our media partners with opportunities to tell your story too. We can't buy the story, but we can flood them, and hopefully they'll choose your idea. I think that's it. And just again, knowing that myself and Mandy and Molly and Brian are here for you, if there's ideas you want to run by us, and if you have concerns, there's a lot of great ideas going around about how this training could be improved. We want to hear that. We want to know what your ideas for InCommons might be. And we're here, as I always say, we're executive interconnectors. So just keep listening and interconnect opportunities so that we can create the conditions here that take us to a place where we're resilient communities that can take any challenge. And because we know each other and we're in relationship with each other and we're quick learners and we can hold the space, we can create solutions because we have the resiliency necessary through those relationships to come up with innovation and to practice and try things out and let something innovative emerge. Did I forget anything, team?
Any questions, or we'll communicate with you via email so you have kind of a summary of this and what the next steps are. It's really important for you to put up a profile on InCommons because that's the way that you'll link to all these things. Go ahead.
I guess my only question is, and you may have run into this before, it may have helped to have some of this